put some fucking pants on and go outside and do some shit.
Nothing to do.
There's nothing to do.
Girl, there is nothing to do.
The Sandhills wants to know what time it is. It's time to get ready for the unlimited social scoop. Introducing Nothing to Do, the Sandhills Social Scene Podcast, straight from the Share Studios with your host, Dominique.
Hi, it's the Nothing to Do Podcast with your host, me, Dominique. Thanks for joining us for episode 28, recorded at the Share Studios. I did it, Brian. Brought to you by Cumulus Media Group. That's Rock 103, Q98, Magic 106.9, and News Talk 640 AM. And so, in a Nothing to Do town, what is there to do? Well, this past week, I will admit, I did a lot of downtime things. For instance, I had a surprise, not so surprise birthday party. Brian's shaking his head. He was a part of that. That actually happened after we had 4th of July at Sagra, watching the U.S. collegiate men scrimmage against each other, and lots of fireworks. It was a great turnout for it to be the 4th. And you could also see the fireworks from the Fayetteville Symphony Orchestra that was going on down at Festival Park. So it was just a really, really cool vibe. Beautiful event. I really couldn't have asked for a better 4th because I wasn't outside too long. Y'all know it was really, really hot. But yeah, so going to my surprise birthday party, we got to spend time with each other and say the big surprise at the Hay Street rooftop. Thank you, Antonio, Johanna, Brian, and Dion for helping out, because Dion played a huge part. And I got to see a big Mod Podge of friends and just chill out. Then afterwards, we went to Archive. Again, if you want a really, really good cocktail, Josh Choi is one of the greatest. He's goated in town with making a really good cocktail. Also, Will Fowler from Haymont Truck Stop. So if you haven't been by those two places and you want to get fancy smancy, check them out. Craft cocktails are off the chain. And then what birthday would be a birthday for me without revisiting the OG Carolina Ale House? For those of you who don't know, I worked at Ale House for about 3 years of my life. So it's always home. So if you get a chance and you're going out and looking for things to do and you just want to just chill and have drinks, those are great things to do. Today's episode, we're talking about community partners and what they're offering our youth. Speaking of, with Kids Piece, we are having the annual auction, and we're taking the Art Gallery of Hope and we're meshing both of those together. It's going to be September 12th at the Botanical Gardens, and we're still looking for sponsorship and artists. So if you do canvas art or if you like to repurpose furniture, hit me up at my socials and let's get this thing popping. This year, we want to do things a little bit different because I value our supporters and I don't want you guys to burn out. So having two events really close to each other, to me, creates burnout, and I don't want you guys to have burnout too. So get your tickets. I'll give Brian the link and he can post it one of these places. But our next guest that's coming, our only guest that's coming up, is going to talk about what she offers the community and the youth and how it makes her feel on the inside, because it's all about feeling good on the inside. Because here at Nothing to Do, we don't just tell you what to do. We show you the insides of the people who are doing the things. So episode 28, and we're going to keep rolling, baby. There's nothing to do. Stay tuned. It is the Nothing to Do podcast, episode 28. And you guys know that I be in these streets. And by in these streets, I mean I am here for the community. And so I always want to shine spotlights on people that are doing things in the community for various reasons, because it takes a village, right? Everybody has their own job that they bring to the village. And today we're going to sit with one of our villagers that are doing really great things for the teenage females and more. You've done a lot of things in the community. It's Kori Haggard. Hey, Bookie.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Dominique.
Welcome to the show. So, tell me your backstory. Like, what brings you to Fayetteville? Because I could tell that you're not a Fayettevillian from the day I met you.
Okay. So I believe that is not an insult, right?
No, it's not.
But thank you for the compliment. All right. So what brings me to Fayetteville, North Carolina? A couple of years ago, I went from active duty Navy military to transition over to Navy Reserve. And in that process, there's a process. And that process ended me up in North Carolina, but Raleigh area. However, I had a Navy sister that lived here in Fayetteville, that's from Fayetteville. Trusted her. She was awesome when I first met her. So I was like, oh, is Fayetteville the place to be? She was like, Fayetteville's the place to be. I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll move there and I'll commute back and forth to Raleigh one weekend every month. So that's how I ended up in Fayetteville. I really enjoyed the community, you know, regardless of the reputation. Everywhere has a reputation, right? I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and everybody says, you know, it is what it is. But when I arrived and we began to, when I say we, my family, we enjoyed it. So we stayed here until now. And we're still here. So.
And you're not going anywhere.
I won't say that. I do have plans to leave within the next couple of years. So while I'm here, you know, want to make sure that I'm doing the very best that I can do for my purpose, my passion, and the community.
So you wear many hats.
I did.
I first met you. You were a teacher.
Yes, ma'am. Still am.
A STEM teacher.
Yes.
Yes. And you also had this one program with the young men in our community.
I did.
What was that called?
So the name of that program is Blue Cardinals Boys Conflict Resolution Program. All of my programs have like these long names, and I try my very best to condense it the best I can, but it takes away from what it is that we actually do.
Your message.
Right. So when we first met, I started the program, you know, based off of me losing my brother in Chicago, Illinois, and to avoid any type of like depression or, you know, anything that would keep me bound to the loss of my brother. I took that energy and I took it and I developed this program to help young men, my brothers, my late brother's age and younger, to, you know, stay out the situation that he ended up in. So that's why I turned it into a conflict resolution program. Yeah.
So do you feel like, you know, having the military background and being strong into family relationships is the reason why you want to do things for our community, or what draws you into wanting to pour out?
That's a really good question. I've never considered that like quietly to myself, but to answer that question, I naturally do this. And without the military, without any type of trauma happening to me prior, I believe that this is something that's within me to naturally do, right? Whether if it's women, children, young men, I will always proceed to serve my community, whatever it is. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit jealous at first when we started teaching, because all the kids used to call me Miss Haggard. So I started answering. They're like, hey, Miss Haggard. Hey. Good morning, Miss Haggard. Oh, I love you. Hey, thank you. Love you too.
Right. They did. And they did that because we work so close with one another. And we do have things in common, especially when we were in that school together. The children, I believe they were attracted to us individually and collectively because of the type of women that we are. They didn't see us as teachers. They connected with us on different levels of auntie or big sister. We brought something to that arena where the students can relate to us. Because I believe that you were probably
A problem
child in school. So I know that I had some things going on in elementary as well. So, you know, sometimes kids can see that and that's what they connect to.
Although, if you were to ask anyone at Douglasburg High School, they will tell you how much of a saint I was, how much of a good girl. But they didn't ever tell you about me casitas at lunch when we're not supposed to leave campus. There's that one little situation. ISS happened at least once.
Right.
You know, but yeah, I'm a saint.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I know.
So what keeps you in the school systems? I know it's really, really hard. And
It is hard.
I grew up with having those people in my life that are still in my life that did it for like 20 plus
Right.
years. And with there being such a need for teachers, like the turnover is high, and we all know, we all see the
Right.
billboards, pay teachers more.
Please.
I'll put it on
Pay
a shirt.
teachers more, please,
You know,
please.
what keeps you in that position?
The students.
Yeah.
The connection with the students. It has always been for me, the students. Now, when I first started, I went into teaching believing that it was going to be opposite. I went into teaching thinking it was more about me, of what I can give the students. And that rapidly turned around. The students taught me about myself. And it's really them teaching me about myself. So it's me learning who I am post military, you know, while being a mother. You learn and you receive fresh life from the students. So the students.
Yeah,
Yep.
that makes sense. So you have a program that's going on this summer.
I do.
Explain with your long title.
Long title, part 2. Long title. So Dance Fitness is originally how it started. So during COVID, the fun time of our life, we were all, you know, stranded home. And when we would go out, we would go to like Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, and they always had those honey buns on sale, like 3 for $5. So, you know, I started to pack on the pounds, and I was, you know, thinking to myself after 10 pounds later, looking at myself in the mirror, and I said, nope, have to lose weight. Best way I can do it, I have to remain accountable, right? So I went over to this gym and spoke with the manager, said, hey, this is my vision. However, I need to become certified, so I want to be a fitness instructor. That was my way of being accountable to myself so I can lose the weight. And that rapidly grew into where we're at now. So became a certified fitness instructor, began to teach individual classes along with Zumba classes, but that was not necessarily what I felt that I should be doing forever. And I don't know where this lady is at now, but it was just like a divine crossing, just a divine connection. So I'm certified a couple of months later and go over to the dance studio, and I'm in there and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm feeling a little bit more confident. I'm like, yeah, you know, I dropped that honey bun weight. I'm in a mirror and I'm dancing, and I look to my right and I see this lady. She's really heavy and I can relate to her, not passing judgment, and she's lifting weights. And I know from going through it, we have to women, we should always do a little bit more cardio in our, you know, eating regimen. So I invited her and I say, would you like to dance with me? It's only 12 minutes, high impact, low impact, and I promise you your workout will be over with. She was like, sure. She came in, but she was really heavy, not only not only in her body but in her spirit. So we began to dance and we were both in there breathing heavy, trying to push it out. And then she bent over And when she bent over, she grabbed both of her kneecaps. So I immediately went to her to see if she was okay. And when she looked up at me, she began to cry. And my instinct was like, are you okay? She's like, no. And I said, what's going on? She said to me, and I quote, she said, my daughter just died. And that's where the weight came from. And being a woman, I know that whatever we go through emotionally, we pack on pounds, or some of us, we lose the pounds, right? And I did not ask questions, and she shared with me the experience of how she lost her daughter, and I could relate because I had just lost my brother. Unfortunately, her daughter was murdered, and she was just trying to find herself again, right? And it was in that moment that I realized that I had to take the dancing and I had to connect it to healing. And that's how I created Dance Fitness Healing. So I began to do some research on different types of healing dances and different types of foods that create certain type of chemical balance for us to feel better. And these dances was to help release trauma and stress within our bodies. And I developed this plan and I reintroduced it to the community. I was like, hey, I'm not doing Zumba, promise. I'm only doing, and I love Zumba. Zumba is great. But I was, finding my clients by personal experience. Just having a conversation like this, and then invite these women over to the studio. And next thing you know, these women begin to come with their daughters. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have enough room for the daughters, and then I said, in that moment, okay, let me start a platform for the girls. Now that we have a platform for the girls, maybe I can teach the girls how not to ever have to experience what their mothers and their aunties and what we went through in their early age, right? So the name of that program, long name, Dance Fitness Healing Girls Leadership Camp.
Okay.
So the main aspect of the camp is leadership. And then we have different components of leadership throughout the camp. The camp is a 5-week camp course as of today. Hopefully we accept the offers that will extend us a little bit longer, that will actually lead us into a full 12 months, right? As of right now, we're scheduled for 5 weeks. Okay.
So let's get back on this leadership portion. You say there's different levels of leadership. Like, explain.
Okay. So in my girls leadership camp, we speak to the girls about different leadership styles, right? And we show them different examples of what leadership may look like to them and what real leadership is. So now the girls, they're able to act out the type of leadership that they have experienced. And then we demonstrate to them what authoritative leadership looks like, what leadership looks like with confidence and empathy. We teach our girls that leadership does not mean that you have to be masculine. You can also be a leader and remain soft, feminine. So we teach them different types of realistic leadership skills. And then we take those skills and we create a dance based off of those skills. So that means that our girls will come together as a group. We do everything as a group. They come together as a group and they find a song that represents whatever leadership characteristic that we're teaching that week. And then they'll formulate a dance based off of that leadership skill.
Okay. So it's a whole bunch of creativity, critical thinking, and cha-cha sliding.
A little bit. And we do absolutely no twerking. We have absolutely no twerking. There's absolutely, not saying nothing is wrong with it, but for my leadership class, we refrain from any type of anything that will cause our girls to think of anything explicit. Okay. I don't play Sexy Red. Not saying I don't like her. I'm just saying we don't play. It's just
Brian Jaws, because he has a very thick opinion about that type of music and what image it's setting for girls of all ages. Definitely.
So there is a certain genre of music that we do play in our camp. And when I say we, I have a business associate that she's great. She comes up with all the dances, choreographer, and we pull it all together. So I'm more the educational and skill side, and she's more of the dance, and we pull it together.
So you never stop teaching?
Never stop teaching.
Cute.
Thank you.
So where does this program take place?
So it takes place in Hope Mills at Cumberland Dance Academy. Another long word. Cumberland Dance Academy, and it's located on Legion Road.
Okay. And so you said that there's registration still going on?
Registration is still going on. Now, initially when I, developed the program, it was to stop July 1st. However, we had so many people still knocking at the door, it's hard for me to close the door. However, the last day of registration would be July 19th, only because of our dance routines and our performance dates.
Okay. So the girls are going to perform at various events.
Yeah.
Are the aunties that are teaching the girls going to join in and dance too?
So Auntie Kori will not be dancing. Auntie Kori will be there to lead like I normally do. However, if anyone raises their hand for me to dance, then I do know the routine and I will dance. But let me say this.
Brian, let's move this table.
Let me say this. Our dance routines are more generated towards fitness training. So it's not like competitive dancing. Our girls learn how to dance and they teach one another through fitness training dancing. So at the very end of our program, the girls will have a certificate in fitness training. So it's more of group dancing, but led by guided dancing.
Okay. So fitness instructor, educator, philanthropist.
Thank you for that.
What else do you do around the city?
So I am also a program director where I assist just different walks of life, different entrepreneurs with their vision and whatever that vision may be. I have in the past and currently work with different businesses or small businesses or entrepreneurs just to develop whatever vision that may be, just bring that vision to life.
And one major thing that you didn't bring up, I feel like you're helping other youth, but yet you're still extremely hands-on and proud of your own son.
I am.
Who is a major athlete.
Yes, I am.
Where are you finding all this time?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
So I just do it.
Yeah.
I do it and I push through. I just do it. I don't look at time. I look at schedule and I plan out my schedule so I can have enough time for my son. Yeah, I just do it.
With all his sports.
With all his and whatever he has going on. He's my number one priority. My health, son. But because he has his own thing going on, I sort of get in where he fits in a little bit, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So I can probably speak for majority of single mothers when I say this. We just do it. We don't look back. We just do it. We just make it happen to the best of our ability. Yeah, let's do it.
So, is there anything that I didn't cover? Oh, wait, I already asked you, like, why do you feel like all of your endeavors are needed in the city?
I don't feel like it's needed. I never looked at it like it's needed in this community. I would probably look at it as if it's my purpose. You know? I don't look at it like it's needed. The people that we meet in life, we don't meet them just because. So the young girls and all the students and the single mothers and the single dads, let's not leave them out either. Single dads and auntie and grandma. They all have a story. We all have a story, and we all have that secret story. We all have that story that we don't like to talk about. And before those young girls and young men have to have stories like ours, I try my very best to give them the tools that they'll need to lock their door or open their door if they need to. So I don't look at it like what the community needs. It's what I need to give them while I'm here.
The cute little twins.
Okay.
Okay. So tell the people where they can go to register, where they can go to find out what you got going on, like
Okay.
all the things.
Okay, so you called Dominique Michelle. You can call Dominique. But if you would like to register for Dance Fitness Girls Leadership Camp, you can contact me. Can I give my number out?
Yeah, right there. Just look right in the camera.
Right there? Okay.
Right there. in
So
that
you
window.
can contact me at 910-578-9440. Or you can follow us on IG at DF, D as in David, F as in Frank, _ and the word healing, HEALING, and 623. DF _ healing 623. And we're on Facebook just as Dance Fitness Healing. So 2 social platforms and 1 phone number, or just call Dominique. No. Yeah.
Y'all know he knows my heart, and he knows that all.
Oh yeah, you're
is
right.
A lot.
You're right.
668 text
I
messages
believe
will
that.
get answered. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything else that I didn't get to cover with your story that we need to get out there?
I don't think so. And if you have any other questions, just call me back.
Okay,
That's fair.
that's fair. Yay! All right, so this is episode 28 of the Nuthin To Do podcast with Miss Haggard and Miss Haggard. We'll be back with all the things to do.
Bye. Thank you.
It's the Nuthin To Do podcast, episode 28. And as you previously saw, a lot of people in town are starting to heal through music and dance. And it's a beautiful thing. You got a lot of groups like Kori's group, and you also have some with Stephanie Dancing Without Sin Fitness, and they're going to whip you into shape and do it in a great way. It's just, I'm embarrassed to join those type of groups because I have the gracefulness of a baby giraffe. And I mean, I could clap on 2 and 4, but yeah, there's not a lot of other things that are going to look really good coming out of me dancing. So if you see me at a club and I'm dancing, give me water. Like, it's been a pleasure to hang out with you guys today. I also want to bring to you guys' attention before I leave, Westover Band is doing a pack their trailer. It's a trailer that you put all the band equipment in with water. You guys know it's a really, really hot one. So if you get a chance, please go by your local high school and just drop water, freeze pops, or something off at these band camps, because these kids are working really, really hard. And as a former band member of the Douglasburg Eagle Regiment, I'm gonna let you know, once you get heat stroke as a kid, it doesn't go away as an adult. You become heat sensitive, and we want to take care of our babies. That's basically what this whole episode was about, taking care of our babies, young and old. So, Nuthin To Do, episode 28, recorded in the Share Studios with producer Brian. Brought to you by Cumulus Media Group. That's Q98, Rock 103, Magic 106.9, and News Talk 640. Until next week, here's something to do. Pew, pew, pew. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Nuthin To Do weekly podcast, recorded at the Share Studios in Fayetteville, North Carolina, with your host, Dominique. And make sure to tune in next week because it's only going to get better.